This podcast is brought to you by Body Armor. DrinkBodyArmor.com. Get your edge.
Introducing Body Armor Edge, sports hydration with the boost of caffeine.
Here comes John Morant, dribbles up into some full court pressure. He's quick, Josh is blowing by the defense, going coast to coast. One man to beat, and it's the big man. John leaps up. Oh, it hammers.
With 100 milligrams of caffeine and 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes, there's no better way for John Morant to get his edge. It's more than a sports drink. It's Body Armor Edge.
You're listening to EPPN's Today with DW Sports Edition with DW, Mr. Tom Greer, and Snaps.
Welcome to the Tuesday night edition of Today with DW. It is the sports edition. We already got snafus going on before we even start the show. What the hell's going on? I start the show. Tom's here. All of a sudden, he's gone. And we have no snacks. Snacks has decided to go back on snackcation. Man, I think that man takes too many breaks.
Hey, man. It's getting that time of year. It's summertime. Well, yeah, it's officially summertime. So, you know, that I guess that's when the snackcations start happening.
I guess.
Everybody needs a little break when it starts getting warm out.
Yes, I guess. What's going on, Timmy? Welcome, Al. What's going on? We have a lot to talk about. Since Snacks isn't here, we've tried to adjust the format of the show. We don't do the polls because we save those polls for Snacks because, you know, he loves them so much.
We got to do one next time when he comes back. We got to do a poll. We got to try to find a poll for him.
Oh, definitely. I'll find a poll definitely when he comes back. Hopefully he'll be back next week. He's got a lot going on. We've had power outages. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to do the show tonight. I'm looking at a new studio, 1 floor below. It's crazy what's going on with the Earplug Podcast Network. And stay tuned because we're going to be announcing a brand new podcast. Yet another brand new podcast coming to the Earplug Podcast Studio and Network. I'm Tom and I were talking off pod, and I'm just part of me is very excited, but the other part of me is pretty stressed because I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know how they're finding out about us. But we got 3 more new podcasts coming into the studio within the next week or so. It's nuts. It's like, you know, when it rains, it pours, and literally it is pouring outside today. So you know, that's why we're having issues with our cable and our power, but it's a great thing. It definitely is a great thing. I'm not going to say it's not, definitely for sure. Al, what's going on?
What's up,
Al? What's been going on with you this past week before we get into today's show, Tom?
I mean, nothing crazy, you know, still chugging along, still just trying to create new content. Had a weekend was good though. Went out and Kim was hosting a sketch comedy show called Bragging Rights, which was really cool. I'll actually, after one of the breaks, I don't know if you got to see it, but I made a really fun new T-shirt that I got ripped on during the live GHR Live last night for that event this weekend, and then, you know, just had a nice relaxing weekend with the family, cool. and it was pretty good. I can't complain.
Yeah, I haven't seen the image of the T-shirt, but if you can throw that image up during the break or whatever, we'll get it up on the share.
I'll go get it. It's right. It's in the drawers behind me. I'll just go get it when we cut the commercial.
Okay, we can do that. Definitely can do that. Awesome. Grindhouse and Earplug is really melding pretty well. If that's a hint to what the next new podcast is coming to the network. They've been with us, Brim and everybody's been with us. Crap. Let's see, 12 years, 13 years. Brim's been with us. I think you guys have been with us for at least 8 years. So, been switching to the networks, whatever. And it's great to find like-minded people and getting in multiple networks. I mean, you guys have your one show, and I know you guys are just starting doing recording in the studio. But you're more than you're just mainly the one show. Obviously, you have your other shows. You have a couple other shows. The network is different setup than our setup, I think. But you have yours and Kim's Disney show, which comes out when?
That goes out on Mondays. Every
What days does
Monday.
that come
Monday.
Okay.
Literally, as soon as the clock strikes, usually 12:05 Monday morning, you will see the Magic Kim Tom up, ready for download.
Nice. And then you have obviously Grindhouse Radio, and you have Inconsequential as well on Wednesdays at 2 to 2:30 or 2:45. I'm loving that show. I've put in my 2 cents of a couple characters. If you guys haven't checked them out, check them out every Wednesday live from 2 to 2:30. Get involved in the conversation. It's pretty fun. The last one was a little tough one. The last week's was a little tough. So that was fun to see. You guys with some great topics on there. And it's basically,
I appreciate that.
You take 2 characters that aren't the main characters of movies or shows, and if they're inconsequential or consequential to the story. So,
except for 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago,
again,
2 weeks ago, we literally toasted the main character of a movie, and his name was Indiana Jones.
Yeah, yes, you did. You did do that, but still. So what was funny is I just watched John Wick 3. Now I know I'm a little late to the game. I gave it a 9.
I haven't watched a single John Wick movie.
It's a fun. Oh my God! Get the hell off this podcast right now. We'll shut it down. Go watch John Wick. Go. What are you doing? The first thing I said was, John Wick 3. I got around to it. And no spoilers, but Halle Berry's 2 German shepherds stole the entire movie. I'm not going to say anything more, but those German shepherds stole that whole entire movie. They kicked ass. Of course, it's always Halle Berry as well. Like I said, I gave it a 9.1. It's an action flick. It's not to be meant to, people give me crap about some of my scores. I'm like, hey, that's just my opinion. Again, I'm not, it's not, Shawshank Redemption. It's not like, a serious movie. It's a fun action popcorn movie. The storytelling is great. And their universe is expanding. Bob Odenkirk was just in, is it Nobody? I think it's Nobody that he just did a movie, and that's part of the John Wick universe. So they're expanding that universe. So I think that's pretty cool. And they're starting John Wick 4 soon in the next couple of months. So it's got to be doing good. It's got to be doing well. So again, you don't like
when
my
there's
scores?
a bunch
Tell
of
me
sequels,
what my scores are, because people ask me what my yes.
When there's a bunch of sequels, the franchise has to be doing pretty well.
Right. And it's funny. We could turn around and go be like, really? Fast and Furious 9? Now they're in space. And that you're like, but guess what? It's 9 sequels. So it's got to be doing something right.
It's got to be doing something right. But let's just be real. Fast and the Furious, I'm right here. I'll just say stinks. Those movies stink.
I love them. I love them.
And you know what? I honestly, look, to be honest with you, I can't even say that because I haven't even seen a single one. I haven't even been remotely interested to see. You have
no say.
I saw Fast 7. I saw Fast and the Furious 7, and that movie was a dud. So I don't know. I'm just, I was never interested in those movies. It's like, oh, cool, a bunch of people that drive cars and are I don't even know what the hell they do. They just drive fancy cars. Whoop-de-doo. It's like high. Well, it's basically like it's like criminal NASCAR. Hell out of here.
Criminal NASCAR. They're not always taking the right hand turns, or is it the left hand turns? They're taking a couple different turns. You should watch Fast and Furious. You should watch Fast and Furious 1 because you'll get a different take than 7 because there is a story behind 1 and 2, but then they got really crazy after a while. But again, another series that does well. Everybody gives them shit, but I'm like, people are going to see these movies. People want a distraction. They want mindless entertainment, and that's what Vin Diesel does. He's not going to be a major drama actor. This is what he does, and he does it well.
You mean The Pacifier wasn't a big dramatic movie?
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, it was definitely not.
The Pacifier wasn't a
I
cinematic masterpiece?
Well, what is your determination of a cinematic masterpiece? Is it well? Okay, here's the question for you, Tom, because you're a movie guy, and this is something maybe you should ask Brim and Kim on the next Grindhouse: is what makes a movie successful? Now, we've dealt with this when we were back in Fanboys Inc. Is it the box office numbers? Is it the amount of money they make, or is it fan base? Because we can see, let's use Rotten Tomatoes, because they're sadly at this point are the industry standard at this point. And let's say they give a movie a 7.1 or 6.5, but they break a ton of money at the box office. Does that really make it successful for you? Because you would say, let's say Fast and Furious, you're going to give it a 3.2 or a 2.1, but it made a ton of money at the box office. Does that necessarily make it successful? Because why I say this is because opening day, that, no matter what movie it is that we can talk about, we can, not that I want to say this because I'll get crap for this, Green Lantern, of which I think is a horrible movie. It was total crap, but it did well in the opening weekend. Obviously, after that, weekends to follow, weekends and weeks after, it died. It barely covered the making of it, and didn't even cover the marketing part of what they made. But but people love it. And I'm like, it was crap. So what makes a movie success? Is it just the box office dollars?
I don't think it's the box office dollars. I think it's more of which movie, like if the movie has a lot of like memorable moments, because I think there are enough movies that don't perform well box office wise, but after a while they still resonate with you. You know what I mean? Like, you're right. Like Green Lantern is a perfect example. Like people ran out to go see the Green Lantern because it was a Green Lantern movie. It was a superhero movie, but the movie sucked. It was absolute hot garbage. Like for example, it is a, you can have an argument on this one, but a lot of people don't like the new Star Wars trilogy. That did awesome. That made a whole bunch of money. Like people ran to go see that, but people generally said that those are terrible movies and they weren't great. So I don't think it's how much money you make in the box office. How much money you make in the box office may determine whether or not you get another sequel, whether you get another movie. But I don't necessarily think it determines whether or not it's a good movie as a whole. And I will reiterate, there's going to be 9 Fast and the Furious movies. I don't care if I've never seen Fast and the Furious before. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's no way all 9 are star-studded are amazing movies. I'm sorry, there's no way all 9 are amazing films in cinema. There's not a chance. I'll give you 3, maybe the first 3. Everything else, you're probably reaching.
All right. So yes, but obviously there is the mass populace. Obviously you're a minority saying that you don't like Fast and Furious. Obviously there's people out there to pay the $12.50 or $13 to go see these movies. So we have to do kind of take that in consideration as well.
That's true. I agree with you, but it's like, like for example, like I literally just pulled up a list on BuzzFeed. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory did not do well in the box office when that movie came out, but that is literally one of the most memorable,
that was horrible,
like classic movies that genuinely, I mean, if you ask more people than not.
Wait a minute.
Willy Wonka, not Charlie. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is the original OG. Didn't do as well as it should have in the box office.
I think that movie's amazing.
Yeah, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is hot garbage. That is just that should have never happened.
Yeah. With Johnny Depp. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that was a garbage. That was a terrible movie. That was a terrible movie. Should have thrown it away. Never happened. But Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, yeah, it didn't do amazing in the box office when it first dropped, but it's a memorable movie. Everybody remembers it. Gene Wilder, fan-freaking-tastic in it. Like, that is just a straight-up classic, So I don't necessarily think the dollars and cents behind a movie, what it makes when people go buy the tickets for it, necessarily says whether or not it's a memorable or an amazing movie,
Well, it's a cult classic. It's DVD sales and whatever merch they had afterwards has definitely done well for them.
Yeah. I mean, like Clerks. Clerks might not be on the same level, but What do you say?
I loved Clerks. I love
Yeah,
Clerks.
exactly.
Al says those movies are hot mayo on rotten tuna. Fast and forget it.
Thank you. I knew I liked you, Al. I knew I liked you.
And
They
Al, you've
stink.
probably never seen one of them either. So what the hell? No, just kidding. I love Clerks. Do I love the rest of Kevin Smith's Askew universe? Man, it's so. It's okay. I mean, there's some
Mallrats
that
is
are
my
just
favorite.
blah. But Clerks for me, Mallrats, yes. Obviously for the pop culture references, yes, I love Mallrats. His humor is a little rough to take at sometimes. It's that college potty mouth. College humor, but again, you know what? Everybody's got their own shtick and whatnot. But let us know what you guys think. I mean, obviously, we're not talking sports right now, and since Snacks is not here, and I'm giving Tom a treat, even though my internet's a little wonky right now. So Tom doesn't. Usually on this show we do Tom sets up all the topics, and he does Today in Sports History. Wednesdays and Thursdays, I do different segments. Obviously, our longtime listeners that are on right now know that Tom has not have been part of some of the segments that we do. And I figured, you know what? Let's do a couple segments. We didn't get to do a couple shows last week, so I got some information and some stuff from our segments last week. So we're gonna pull, before we get into the sports section of this, we're gonna do a little bit of segments from the regular Today with DW. So we're gonna start off with Strange Tales. And today's Strange Tales is brought to you by The Shirt Factory. Visit shirtfactorygf.com. They are now doing their weekly, I'm saying weekly, Thursday night food truck corrals from 4:30 to 8 o'clock. One of the biggest food truck corrals in upstate New York. Amazing food trucks, amazing food, live music, beer tastings. I believe that the pony rides are back. I don't believe the bounce houses are there yet. You don't have to wear masks. Everything is still 6 foot separated for tables. You can wear masks if you'd like, but they're not required. It's a great time. The problem is I haven't been able to get to one all last year or the year before because I'm podcasting at 6:30 at night. So we're trying to work out where I can be on location for a food truck rally. Hopefully, one of the times we'll get Tom up here, and we're working out on schedules and his time off and whatnot, because Tom's got a day job as well as I do. But to get him up here Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, so we can do a live remote from the location. But again, shirtfactorygf.com. Check them out, upstate New York. So let's get into today's Strange Tales.
Now, EPPN presents Today with DW's Strange Tales.
Texas man sleeping in his truck bed, kidnapped when car thief steals it. I'm not making this up. Yes, man sleeping in the back of his truck, kidnapped when his own car gets stolen. Central Texas man was thought to have been in a danger over the weekend after the truck he was in disappeared. Luis Banderas Garcia was last seen on Sunday around 5:30 a.m. after leaving a club in North Austin. He climbed in the back of the truck and fell asleep outside the club. Now, that's good. He did not drink and drive. Smart man. But
good, very smart.
Not smart enough. Yes. Someone that stole the truck with a sleeping Banderas Garcia in the back. It's unknown if the truck thief knew if the tired 20-year-old was in the vehicle. Garcia was reported missing after friends couldn't contact him and thought something bad might have happened to him. The man ended up being okay and was found in the neighboring city of Round Rock after a few hours. Austin police didn't provide an update about the truck or the thief. Still looking for the truck and the thief. How crazy that you do the good thing, you do the responsible citizen thing, and don't drink and drive, and now your car gets stolen. That's nuts. That's crazy.
That's absolutely amazing. That stinks. Just a stroke of bad luck. It's like I choose to be the model citizen today. I'm not gonna kill anybody, not drinking and driving, and my car gets taken. That sucks. That really sucks.
So this woman's had a bad day. This will be the last one for Strange Tales because we got a lot of topics to go on in the sports edition. Woman rescued from South Florida storm drain was also found in a Texas storm drain. So we see a repeat fender here. Is there drugs? Is there alcohol? And how did you get from Florida to Texas?
The storm drain.
A woman who was lost. She flown. I don't know. I can understand if you're coming from north, south, and maybe the downgrade, but from Texas to Florida across the
There's
state,
a lot of water. The storm drain bled out into the Gulf. She swam across the Gulf into a storm drain in Texas.
Well, there you go. I don't have to read the rest of the article. There you go. You just called it right out, Tom. Woman who was lost in South Florida storm drain in March was rescued from a storm drain in Texas in May. Lindsay Kennedy was reported missing in Grand Prairie, Texas on May 26th after she wandered away from a rehab facility. Boom, I called it. CBS 12 News reported. Her family said she was there for about a week before she disappeared. Not in the storm drain, at the rehab facility. Grand Prix, I just wanted to clarify that. Grand Prix police saw Kennedy near a creek, wherever you are, it's the same thing. But she slipped into a nearby, I love this. She slipped into a nearby storm drain when they approached. She slipped, just not falling, just slipped. That's kind of funny. Kennedy's family used a tracking app on her phone. This must have been a fast-moving storm train, because if she slipped and just flew away and the police didn't catch her, that's a huge storm drain. That's pretty impressive. So Kennedy's family, as I said, used a tracking app on her phone, which led them to her last location before she entered the underground storm drain. Family members left food and drinks near manholes and the storm drain in case the 43-year-old woman found her way out. Oh, what a nice family. Jesus.
That's amazing.
Kennedy
They're like leaving like little traps.
So yeah, right? Little morsels. Kennedy climbed out of the drain on Saturday, May 29th, and was taken to a nearby hospital on psychiatric hold. No kidding, really? Something similar happened to Kennedy earlier this year when she was found in a storm drain in Delray Beach, Florida. Kennedy told authorities that she was in the storm drain for 3 weeks before first responders pulled her out. Florida authorities were confused about how she entered the storm drain, which she said she found while swimming in a nearby canal near her boyfriend's house. Kennedy's family previously reported that she has a history of mental illness and drug use. No shit. Really?
Well, that's just sad.
And that is today's Strange Tales.
That is the definition of strange. We need to stop making storm drains so easily accessible to people.
Only in Florida, my friend. Well, obviously in Texas now.
And
too.
Texas, and Florida, and Texas.
What was she doing for? So what I want to know? What was she doing for 3 weeks?
Looking for Pennywise
in Florida. How did she eat? Yes, Pennywise. Yes, definitely. Good callback. That was good. I like that. Maybe there was people because they're underground, so the storm drains not necessarily are. When people think of storm drains, they think in the gutters. When you're looking at some of the bigger storm drains, you can actually live in them. They're huge tunnels, whatnot. Maybe she found a heroin addict. Maybe she found some homeless people and she just kind of hung out. But they did say first responders found her. So, and obviously, was the family really, really concerned? They didn't call the police. They just put food out at every other manhole. What is that?
It's just, this must be a regular thing. If they're like, go leave food by the manholes again. We haven't found her. She must be in a storm drain.
Oh my God. Yeah. Here's some Doritos and Mountain Dew. Have a good day. Call us when you're done. Caleb, what's going on? KD, perfect day for a podcast on this rainy day. Hank can't make it in, but he can watch. Go Islanders. There you go. Look at that. All right.
Hell
snaps.
yeah.
All right. Let's go. We're going to get into today's episode, the sports edition, but we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Introducing Body Armor Edge, sports hydration with the boost of caffeine.
Kyler Murray drops back, looks downfield. Here comes the blitz. Murray finds an opening. And not dives, and he misses. He's got daylight. Murray sprinting, picking up speed.
With 100 milligrams of caffeine and 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes, there's no better way for Kyler Murray to get his edge. It's more than a sports drink. It's Body Armor Edge.
We are back. Thank you for listening and watching Sports Edition, Tuesday night edition of Today with DW. I'm having a lot of hiccups in the background here. I don't know if it has anything to do with the storm we're having, but our internet connection is a little wonky right at the moment. But hopefully that's not interrupting your viewing pleasure. This is Sports Edition. Hopefully you enjoyed the first part of the show with Strange Tales. We don't usually do that in the Sports Edition, but I figured since Snacks isn't here, so what the hell? Let's give Tom another part of what we do during the week, because I know that he doesn't listen to the show, and I'm okay with that because that man is a busy podcaster. He's got a lot of other stuff going on, and I get that. So I figured I'd give him a little taste of what we do on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
I appreciate that. It was a lot of fun. I did grab that shirt, by the way, that I was telling you about. Oh, no, I was just saying I grabbed that shirt that I told you that I made over the weekend. Take
a look. Let's see it.
That'd be it right here.
Hold on. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. As that's what she said. Keep it up. We got no. Keep it up. Keep it up. I want to blow it up here. Where is it? Oh, look at that. She's all Gouda. She does love her cheese. I'll tell you that. She definitely does love her cheese. Awesome. That's awesome.
She definitely does. She definitely does. So I made that for when she was hosting the show over the weekend.
I want one of those shirts.
And
I want one of those.
yeah.
I want one of those shirts. Put it up somewhere. We'll buy it. I'm sure people would buy that. You need to make that a poster. That poster's like the 70s and 80s poster. You should put that up there. You should make a poster just as a joke and put it in your room one day and have her walk in and be like, oh, really?
She would probably, she laughed and rolled her eyes at the shirt. She'd probably hate it if I had the poster hanging up in my room.
You know what? Let's make two. Put one in your room. I'll put one in mine, and then send her an Instagram post. Me and look at what I got. I'm Kim's #1 fan right in my bedroom. Oh my god, that'd be too funny. All right, let's get right into it. Bruins head coach Bruce Cassidy gets very salty after the Islanders' 5-4 win over the Bruins in Game 5. Bruins head coach Bruce Cassidy seemed to have an issue with the way the game had been officiated. Doesn't everybody at this point, it seems? He had some strong words for the officials in post-game press conference. Pretty much he stated, I think they sell a narrative over there, and it's more like the New York Saints, not the New York Islanders, Cassidy said. The exact calls that are getting called on us are not getting called on them. I don't know why. You got to get the exact same high sticks. You just hope they'd see them. Was he a sore loser over a point? Who knows at this point? We'll get Tom's taking us. The Islanders whacked up 4 power plays to the Bruins 2 for one of the least penalized teams, in the league after league all year. That seemed about right. At least that was the sentiment from the Islanders head coach Barry Trotz. I don't know what he means by that. We were one of the least penalized teams. In the league all year. You'll have to ask him what he means by that. Coach Trotz said when he was asked in the post-game interview. So this isn't just hockey. I think we can even say this past season, obviously COVID might have changed some things. Let's go pre-COVID to the NFL to 2019. Same thing with the refs. Same thing with the calls. There's been some really shitty, bad calls, and you're like, where did this come from? What is going on here? So do you think Cassidy is in the right by being upset about this, or is it just nothing?
No, I mean, look, our referees and officials going to miss calls. Yeah, they'll miss them all the time. But I mean, I think it's really I think it's really bad when you're just all of a sudden blatantly blaming games on the way the games are officiated. When you're never gonna win a game when you give up 5 goals on 19 shots. That's not gonna happen, and that's exactly what the Bruins did. I don't understand where he's coming from. It sounds like it just comes off as a sore loser kind of mentality. The Bruins are one of the most heavily penalized teams all year. So to assume that they had a lot of calls go against them, it's really not that outlandish. The Islanders, like I said, like Trotz said, they were not a very heavily penalized team all year. They play the game the right way. They play the game clean. Sure. Did they get away with some calls? Absolutely. I will absolutely admit that. But I mean, to say that that's the reason that they're winning games, I would definitely beg to differ. But I think that just comes with sports. You know, when you have human officiating, you're gonna have human error. You know, that's just kind of the way it works. Thank you, Al. I love that. Isles are 42% on their power play in the series.
But can we be honest though, Tom? Whether in baseball, and I know you're not a big football fan, throughout the last couple of years, we've seen really, really bad, like blatant calls. Like for me, being a Patriots fan, sitting there, whether I'm doing Sunday Fun Day with some friends at a local bar, and be like, if it wasn't for the Patriots, that call would have went through, and they didn't get called but the other team did, and they're showing favoritism. I get it, because sometimes they're fans of the other team, and it's the Patriots fan, and we get a lot of crap for that. But at the same time, I kind of feel the same way, going, the refs are like, that call, did you just get paid $1,000 to make that call? Because that was not, you had to be 100% blind to miss that call. Do you know what I'm saying? It seems more and more.
Well, the problem is,
but we see these really bad, blatant calls, no matter what sport it is. I don't pick. Go ahead.
No, what I'm saying is unfortunate. Like the problem is, it's really easy to say all of that stuff when you're watching it from home or you're watching on television and get to see the replays. You know, football. I'm actually, Herb. It's actually, for me, it's baseball, football, and then hockey. My top three. But those sports, hockey and football specifically, they're just such fast-paced, fast-moving sports. For you to expect them to see everything in an instant or make snap decisions in an instant with no mistakes whatsoever is insane, because they're human. They're human beings. They're always going to miss something, you know? So, yeah, does it suck when a call doesn't go your way and it's a big deal and they clearly, blatantly miss something? Yeah, that does suck. But does it suck when a referee's call does determine the outcome of a game? Yes, that does suck. But in this case specifically, you're never going to win if you're giving up 5 goals on 19 shots. That is not a recipe for success. That's not a recipe for winning. It's not going to happen, you know? So in this case, I would say Bruce Cassidy, sack up and just take the L and then come back. Let's handle this on the ice on Wednesday. You know, don't just start saying, "Oh, we didn't get the same calls." Get out of here, because you weren't getting the calls all year, because you guys get penalized regularly. Mm-hmm. You know, so, but I'm not going to be an idiot. I'm not going to be naive and say that referees don't mess up. Like, there's plenty of instances where referees miss calls or screw up calls. I've been watching baseball all year, and it looks like the umpires have just forgotten how to umpire a baseball game. You know, so that's just, it's human error. It's a part of game. It's a part of the game. It's a part of sports.
Well, I guess thank God for instant replay. So we'll leave it at that. On to the next. Speaking of the NFL, Mr. Aaron, where are you? Are you really going to make those mandatory practices? To the surprise of no one, Aaron Rodgers didn't show up to the Packers mandatory mini camp this week and is potentially facing a $93,000 fine from the team. Did I not call this 2 weeks ago when Hank told me that he would show up? I said I would call this, and I'm calling it here. ESPN should start listening to me, Tom, and Hank, because we're calling this crap before it even happens. Anyway, also putting his $500,000 bonus for showing up to OTAs in jeopardy. Rodgers showing that these what he would consider small fines won't make him change his mind on how he plans to deal with his time left with the Packers. It is history repeating itself almost exactly when Favre did this, and it gave the Packers time to truly evaluate Rodgers. With Aaron doing this now gives the Packers time to fully evaluate Jordan Love, just further cementing the thought that Rodgers' time in Green Bay is all but over. My take is he's done. Obviously, he doesn't care. Obviously, do I think that he's being professional? I'm going to say that because we're picking up from articles from different sources as Tom is putting these together. We're seeing what is out in public. We are not seeing yet, or if we will ever see what happens behind closed doors. We already know it's not about the teammates. We already know maybe it's not about the coaching. We do think and have theorized that from his statements that it's the upper management, it's the suits that are going on. It may not be necessarily more money. This is a long-standing thing, I think, with Rodgers, and he's proving a point. Publicly, does it look like he's being a jerk and not being professional? Yes, but I am not going to say that personally for myself, and we'll get Tom's take. We don't know what's going on behind the closed doors. We do not know what's being said. He could be less professional and talk about those meetings behind closed doors publicly, and he really has not said much, and I have to kind of give him props on that point. But Tom, what is your take on this?
I really it's a really weird situation because I don't know what to think. Like, you have all these situations of Rodgers not showing up to camp, saying that he has problems with that there's problems with the Packers. You have these experts saying that he's got problems with the upper management and GM. But I was literally just listening to something today. It might have been on FS1. I don't remember exactly who brought it up, but James Jones, one of his former wide receivers who says he talks to Aaron Rodgers regularly, was saying that he doesn't hate the front office. He doesn't hate the general manager, that this is something that is totally fixable and possible to get right. And that, Aaron Rodgers could show up with the Packers again. So I don't really know what to think on this entire situation. Like, I don't know. It's so unbelievably weird because, like I keep saying, I understand that Rodgers has gripes with the Packers. He probably wants to make a little bit more money. He's been with this team for years, and they've never gotten over the hump again. It's been like 10 years since he won his Super Bowl. I get that. Mm-hmm. But like I've said in the past, like I've said numerous times, there isn't a team in the NFL right now that's going to be able to trade for Aaron Rodgers. There isn't a team in the NFL that even if they could trade for Aaron Rodgers has the weapons to put him in a better situation than the Packers put him in right now, because the Packers have had him in an NFC championship game year after year. He has been one step away from the Super Bowl year after year. So where is he going to go to make that better? Where in the AFC is he going to go to make that better and not have to face Patrick Mahomes?
Okay. So 2 or 3 weeks ago, I think we all kind of agreed that the Packers haven't given him the weapons he needs to go to a Super Bowl. Yeah, it's a championship game. Great, he's a championship. But you even said that they have not given him the weapons he needs. Do you not think there's another team out there that doesn't have better weapons for him at this point?
That can go get him? No, I don't. Because look, because think of it this way. Okay, think of it this way. There isn't a team in the NFC right now that doesn't have a quarterback that would be ready to trade for Aaron Rodgers and win right this second. You're not the AFC. I'm sorry, but if I'm Aaron Rodgers,
hold on. So let's take all teams in play, Tom. Take the Tom Brady's. What team? We don't care what quarterback they have now that they're going to be snacks. Jack says, Jack Celeste, the owner of Coach's Corner Food Truck. Oh my God, some amazing food there. And if you saw on my post and on the Earplug podcast page, we got a sweet location on his truck. Listen to Jack Celeste daily on Earplug Podcast and 98.5 WCKM. We're going to start giving you specials. We're going to be talking with Jack. He'll be on through the phone. We're going to be talking about his next day specials because usually he calls in the mornings on WCKM on the FM. But since we're on at night, we're going to give you a sneak peek of those specials the following day. So if it's Tuesday, we're going to give you Wednesday specials and his location. If you're in upstate New York, you got to go to Jack's food truck. So getting back to, and thank you, Jack, for signing in. So getting back to it, let's take it away that nobody has a quarterback. Okay. What team or teams do you think could, one, afford him, and two, give him the weapons he needs? I'm going to go right off the bat, say, and it's not because of I'm a Patriots fan. I'm going to say Patriots, and I'm probably going to say Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
now, this has nothing to do about getting their quarterbacks, but those two have some big bucks behind them.
But I'm just talking. But yeah, I understand that. But I'm just talking. I'm talking about like. You could, yeah, we could just start listing teams in the NFL that if Rodgers had them, the team would work out. I get that, but I'm trying to figure out a team that is one quarterback away from contending, that doesn't have a starter sitting there right now. Like you would argue the Dallas Cowboys. If the Dallas Cowboys wouldn't get Aaron Rodgers, they'd be.
All right, let's talk Pats. Okay, you know how I feel about Cam. Their backup is okay. What do you think about him going to the Pats? They do have some decent weapons.
But who though? But who? I don't know who the Pat. Like, I don't know that the Pats have good weapons. Like, they basically have the same weapons that they had last year, without Julian Edelman. You know, so like
True,
I don't know.
Edelman, I mean, as granted as Edelman was as Edelman was great, but he was old and his time was done. I think their whole entire team is a little bit set up better than the Packers. Granted, again, they didn't make it to the playoffs, but again, it could have been because.
But you have to go through
whatever, numerous things.
But again, you have to go through. If you're playing in the AFC, you have to worry about Pat Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Mostly Pat Mahomes. You mostly have to worry about Pat Mahomes in the AFC. Yeah. Best quarterback, probably the most talented quarterback playing right now. So if I'm Aaron Rodgers, I don't want to be in the AFC. You know, I don't want to have to deal with that regularly.
Right.
I don't want to deal with Pat Mahomes until I'm in a Super Bowl.
Would you, or
then I'll
would
deal
you?
with him. Would not. I would not.
Are you sure? Because I think Aaron Rodgers would to try to prove himself. We've talked about this before.
Prove himself in a Super Bowl. I mean, but he'd rather prove himself in a Super Bowl.
True.
Why would I want to face Pat Mahomes? Why would I want to face Pat Mahomes and have him standing in my way to keep me from going to a Super Bowl when his entire career, other than the 1 year he won a championship, he's had somebody he's made it just close enough and never got there again.
Well, what happens if he faces Mahomes in a Super Bowl?
But I'd rather do that because he at least made it to the Super Bowl. He made it there. Okay. You know what I mean?
And and also at the same time, that's where we've all said, and I think we've all agreed, even when Snacks was here, that playoffs and Super Bowls change. The game changes, the attitude of the players change, and sometimes it's not necessarily the star power; it's the experience on making those last-minute decisions in those game plays, where we've seen some underdogs win some Super Bowls. Jack Celeste says, I think if he goes anywhere, it'll be Denver. That's his gut. But he ain't going anywhere. He ain't going nowhere. So we did hear Denver was the first thing in the rumblings a couple weeks ago. That seems to be off the plate at this point. Would he do well at Denver? You know what? I don't know, because, you know, I didn't think Tom Brady was going to do well at Tampa Bay, and they just gelled like hell, like they've been playing for years. Is it because of Tom Brady? Yes. Is it because of the coaching? Yes. It's a melding. I did not expect them to gel as a team as well as they did, coming from a quarterback, where the team had a quarterback that ran a little bit better than Brady, and having now a quarterback that can't even get out of his own way in a shadow. That's a lot of planning. That shows how these players are, and the determination and the coaching staff, whether or not the coaching said, all right, I'm going to listen to Tom Brady. These are the plays that he wants to play. We're going to do this. Instead of the coach saying, no, F you, just because you're Tom Brady, these are the plays we're going to do. I think there was a lot of teamwork going on there. I was totally shocked. I mean, I was the first one to admit, going, they ain't going to make it to the playoffs. They ain't even come close to a Super Bowl. And look what happens.
It also helped that, you know, they had the best quarterback to ever do it in Tom Brady. And then, you know, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, OJ Howard, like they had an insane amount of weapons when Brady went down to Tampa. So that did help. But that's the thing, is like, I don't know who Rodgers can go to right now that puts him in a better situation than the Packers, who gives him a better chance to win or be a contending team than the Packers. Because the Packers, year in and year out, are contenders. Year in and year out, you know, the Packers are making the playoffs and more than likely making it to the championship game. That is a death taxes. True. And the Packers are contending for a championship.
It's almost a given.
It's almost
like, yeah. Totally agree. It's almost a given. We're not going to jinx them next year, but yes, it is pretty much a given. It's pretty much a given. On that note, it is the Body Armor halftime, and we will be right back. And when we return, we are going to be doing a little Today in Sports History. And now we're going to get into the heated debate that we got off pod. Did Mayweather throw this fight, and did he really hold up Logan without him pass out?
Hello, I'm Baker Mayfield.
I'm Anthony Rizzo.
I'm Donovan Mitchell.
I'm Diana Taurasi.
I'm Ryan Blaney.
And I have something to confess.
I had a formidable Beanie Baby collection.
I used to say YOLO a lot.
I paid a lot of money for ringtones.
I had a sick flowing mullet one time.
My Cabbage Patch Kid's name was Dolores.
I used to rock bleached tips.
I used to rank my friends on MySpace.
I rented movies at Blockbuster.
I used to wear jorts. That's right, jean shorts.
I used to drink Gatorade.
Yeah, I used to drink Gatorade.
We all used to drink it.
It was the only sports drink out there.
Now there's Body Armor.
I drink Body Armor now.
I drink Body Armor now.
I'm Team Body Armor now.
Welcome back to the Sports Edition today with DW. Wow, my computer is glitching like hell. Hopefully you guys don't hear it on your end, but I had like a 5 to 6 second delay on that last commercial break. But before the break, as I said, we are going to get into today's sports history, and today's sports history is brought to you by Venture Family Fun Center. Check them out at venturefamilyfun.com now. They are open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Hours have been changing a little bit, so if you need their hours and information, go right over to venturefamilyfun.com. And check them out. They are very helpful, and they'll respond right away. I do believe that you don't have to wear masks at this point in time. It's up to you. Inside, outside is open, are open. So the go-karts are going. Got some great weekend for it too. So if you're here in upstate New York, it's even worth traveling from Albany, which is only an hour south. And I say only an hour, to come up here and check them out. They have great, amazing facility there. And if you do come up and have 6 friends, God damn it, Snacks, you need to get a shorter code. If you do have 6 friends, use code DWADV2021 to get 6 tickets at $35. I don't know, that's $10 off the regular price. So you're so with $45, you're saving $10, 6 tickets for $35. Now, I always go overboard when I do these spots because I do love Venture Family Fun Center. They're one of our longtime sponsors and advertisers. And I will say I've done it there. I've been there. We're hopefully this year, we keep saying every year we're going to get Tom and Kim and Brim up here. We definitely, I don't care if I have to go down and drive them and then drive them back up here to get them. We're getting them up here. Now, it's a 5-minute ride. Each session is 5 minutes. I will tell you, it is probably the longest 5 minutes that you'll ever have. The longest 5 fun minutes you'll ever have. So I'm telling you, it's worth it. Get 6 friends, go double rounds. And you know what? Maybe come up. You might be racing against me, Tom, Kim, Brim, Snacks. Even though Snacks knows what the fastest go-kart is, I got a good 100 pounds on that, buddy. So I know that I'm good with that. I'm the lightweight. I think I can win. I think even I'll let him in the lead. Even Snacks and Brim, I'm telling you both right now, I'm calling you out, that I will beat you 2 out of 3 times. I'm telling you right now, I'm calling you out, just like Mayweather did. And we'll be talking about that in a bit. So take it away today in sports history with Mr. Tom Greer.
All right. So today, back in 1933, A's first baseman Jimmy Foxx, not Jamie Foxx, Jimmy Foxx, hits 3 consecutive home runs as Philadelphia outscores New York Yankees 14-10. 4 straight home runs after Foxx homered last time up the previous day, which is crazy. 1955, the Dodgers option pitcher, future Hall of Famer Tommy Lasorda to make room on the roster for the great Sandy Koufax. And you know, that's kind of all she wrote there. Sandy Koufax, one of the greatest pitchers to ever step on a baseball field. 1969, MLB legend Mickey Mantle gives his farewell retirement speech during Mickey Mantle Day at Yankee Stadium for 60,096 to see, and they had number 7 retired. 2002 French Open women's tennis. Serena Williams wins her first French title by beating her older sister Venus Williams 7-5 and 6-3. And finally, in 2018, the NBA Finals, the Golden State Warriors claimed their 3rd title in 4 years with a 108-85 win over the Cleveland Cavaliers for a 4-0 sweep. The MVP was Kevin Durant for a 2nd straight year. And that is today in sports history. Can't believe that the Warriors won that long ago already.
That was awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, right? How weird is that? So we got a couple more topics before we end the show. So we're going to start right off with this because this might be the last topic because we've already had some discussions with Snacks and Mr. Greer before the show about this. Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. I couldn't think of a clever title. I love it. Usually I'm not supposed to probably say those out loud, but those were quotes. But again, I love it. That's a perfect title. I couldn't think of a clever title. That's perfect right there. Exhibition fight between the aging but arguably best boxer to ever lace up the gloves, Floyd Mayweather versus internet sensation, YouTube sensation, Logan Paul, went like everyone expected it would. I don't think so. Did it? Leaving people wishing that they got their money back, of course, in an exhibition fight with no winner, didn't even see a knockout, or did it? Now, before we get further into this, I don't think it was expected the way I didn't expect this. I expected this. I expected Mayweather to do his routine, get his opponent down, understand his opponent in the first round, do the roundabouts, jab, run, see where his striking points are, kind of tire him out a little bit, but see what see the weak points and the strong points for that opponent. Going into round 2 and 3, I would have expected a knockout by round 3. He did exactly what he did what I said in round 1. He definitely did it. It was kind of boring, but he was getting his bearings. He's methodical. He wants to see what his opponent is. It's different than watching videos. I mean, we can see this about football and whatnot, where you're seeing plays and you're practicing and trying to figure out what they're going to do play next. Same thing in boxing, but a little bit more. I think, yes, you can watch him and see what he do, his tells, his low points, if he drops an arm, but you're not going to really know until you really get in the ring with that person. And that's what Mayweather was good at back in the day, was really calculating and seeing what he was doing. After rounds 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, after round 3, I will be honest, I did not expect a knockout. And so I was shocked. I was really shocked at this point. Sure, the fight went the distance. There was no winner. It being an exhibition, there was no true knockout, which would have been allowed. But a video surfaced on the internet Monday, of which Tom and I have talked about, of what looked like Floyd catching Logan with a punch that appeared to turn his lights out. But instead of letting him fall to the mat, he held him up so he could finish out the round, get to the corner, and keep fighting going. Now, I've watched the video. You can see this on Twitter. You can see it probably still on YouTube. Sometimes they take that stuff down. I think it's a matter of interpretation, but I'm going to give the floor to Tom and let him give his takes. This whole fight, this was basically like a WWE bout, like it was a fake fight. Not fake, but because they were really hitting each other, but it was an exhibition fight. There was never going to be a winner. The only time that you would ever get an example is a knockout. Floyd knows that if it goes a distance, it's just this was a payday for him. Each punch that got thrown, he just hears cash registers in his head. It's just ching, 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 ching. It didn't matter to him. So to see the fight end like that, that's why he wanted to keep it going. He wanted to keep the show going, because that's all it really was. It was just a show. It's no different than Brock Lesnar going against The Rock in the middle of a ring, So I saw that video, and it clear as day looks like he catches him, and Logan Paul just goes limp, totally limp. Body just shuts down, eyes are closed, and it looks like Mayweather's just hugging him and holding him up. I don't know how else you can interpret that video. Like, Floyd Mayweather is a very experienced boxer. Floyd Mayweather is arguably, you could argue it all you want, is one of, if not the best boxer to ever step in a ring. If he wanted to knock out Logan Paul, which it looks like he did, he very much could have. I'm sorry. I know Logan Paul's got the size. I know he is a strong kid. Yeah,
but he's not a boxer. He's not a boxer.
I got to disagree on that.
What do you mean?
I disagree on that. I disagree. Mayweather having Mayweather not knock him out. There's no way in hell that Mayweather would not knock him out if he could. Now, again, the video is in question. I get that, and I know what you're saying, but to do a full knockout, to deliberately hold him up for the show, I don't think that would. I personally don't feel that's in Mayweather's case. He is a boxer. He has a 50-0 win. He has never lost. Why, exhibition or not? Why do you think whether he was making the money or not, which is not even in question because we don't know the final tally of what he was getting. Neither one has been told 100% what either one of was getting for this point. What benefit would it be for Mayweather? And I saw the video. I understand what you're saying. What benefit would it be for Mayweather to hold him up? There's no reason to keep the show going. The point is that I'm going to knock this young kid out who's at 180 pounds, and it's not a money grab.
But it is,
it was already a money grab when he walked in the ring. It didn't matter whether it went 1 round or 8 rounds. It's not, though. It's not. It doesn't matter if it's 1 round or 8.
But he had,
but it
doesn't,
no matter what.
But it doesn't matter. But he doesn't get a benefit. He doesn't get a benefit for knocking him out. There's no benefit to knocking. There's no, like, it's just show fight. It's a fake fight.
He gets another win under his belt.
No, he doesn't. There's no winner. There was no winner to the fight.
I disagree with you. I'm sorry,
but Herb, the thing is, there is no disagreeing.
There's a knockout. There's a winner. Just like hold on a minute.
It's not a. There is no official winner.
A knockout before in an exhibition fight, Tom.
But it was well stated.
Then how come he has an 0-1 record? Logan Paul has an 0-1 record.
It was well stated before the fight.
It matters to Mayweather with a full knockout. I'm sorry. Okay.
Herb,
I don't care what the site says. The Mayweather wants to knock him out, Tom.
Herb.
That's it. I'm disagreeing. Whatever.
I understand, but you got to let me. You at least got to let me answer. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you at least got to let me
the
rebuttal.
rules. It doesn't matter what the rules are, Tom.
It does. Yes, it does, dude.
It doesn't matter what the rules are.
Yes,
no,
going into the fight.
Because right now,
dude, let me listen. Why
it doesn't, Tom? Because if Mayweather,
you can yell and you can yell over me all you want. I'm just going to tell you that does matter. Going into the fight, it's an exhibition fight. The rules stated there was going to be no winner. It didn't affect anybody's record.
It doesn't matter to the fighter.
Whether or not,
it doesn't matter.
Oh my God, you can yell all you want, dude. Whether or not any person got knocked out, it wasn't going to affect anybody's record. If Logan Paul knocked out Floyd Mayweather, guess what?
Yes,
he's still an undefeated boxer.
You're missing the point,
dude. You're insane. No, you're not. You're missing the point. You're missing the point.
Fighting, Tom. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. It's not about the record. It's about pride. That's why you box. That's the point. No, I'm not.
Floyd doesn't give a shit.
You think it wouldn't matter if
Logan cares about his money? Dude, all Floyd Mayweather cares about is money. If Floyd Mayweather really cared about the integrity of boxing, he wouldn't have agreed to fight a YouTube star.
He doesn't need the money.
Floyd Mayweather cares about his money. He doesn't care. All he cares about is money. Floyd Mayweather, all he cares about is money. He will do anything he can. He will do anything he can to get a dollar. He will. That's fact, dude. That's fact. Go back and watch the interviews that Floyd did after the fact. All Floyd Mayweather talked about was the dollars and cents.
You're not a boxer,
and you're not in his head either.
Okay,
it's insane. You know, like,
and that's why I'm saying that's my opinion. I'm not saying it's fact. I'm saying my opinion as a boxer.
It was a show. That's what that was. It wasn't even a real. It wasn't a real boxing bout.
You don't think that? Okay.
That's all Floyd cares about is money, dollars and cents. Book it. That's all Floyd ever talks about. All Floyd cares. Floyd doesn't care about legacy because he said it in the press conference. You can't feed your kids on legacy. You can feed your kids on dollars and cents. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he said in his post-fight presser, that you don't feed kids on your legacy. That's what he said, word for word. He doesn't care about his legacy. All he cares about is money.
He doesn't need the money at any point. He does not need any more money. He's loaded.
But then he wouldn't have taken the fight. Then he wouldn't have taken the fight if he didn't want the money. If he didn't want the money. That's the facts, though. Like, if he wouldn't have taken the fight, he wouldn't have. And he didn't. No, he wouldn't have. If he would have gotten paid nothing, dude.
He did not say that he was not going to take the fight if he's getting money. Do you have an article? Do you have an article that says right from him that he wasn't going to make any money at this fight, that he wouldn't take it? You find me an article and says word for word that Mayweather says that he's not going to take the fight if he doesn't get paid, then that's fact. But he doesn't.
Find me a moment that Floyd Mayweather didn't do something for the money. Find me. Why would Floyd Mayweather go and take a fight against a YouTuber if he wasn't guaranteed millions of dollars? Because that's what he was guaranteed, millions of dollars. That's the reason he took it, because he knew that it was going to be a big box office draw.
It wasn't even millions of dollars.
I'm going to hold on one second.
Okay. I think he pays some crazy amount daily just for his private chef. Jack, you should be his private chef, then you'd be good. what I'm saying, Tom. Listen, I am not totally disagreeing with you, Tom. I get what you're saying about Mayweather, but again, it comes down to pride, and it comes down that he wants to, like when he did McGregor, that was huge. Yes, there was a huge payday. I think it was more so McGregor making. Let me finish because I know and you'll have an article, and I'm willing to give you your time. I have no problem with that. McGregor, I think, yes, Mayweather is about money, but I think McGregor was more about this money with his match, and Mayweather wanted to prove himself. Whether or not Logan Paul is a real boxer or not, I think I think he's a total ass. I think we're all in agreement to that. But I have to give him some props for standing in 8 rounds with Mayweather. Whether or not we think Mayweather threw I guess we would say, as you're saying, okay, we say he threw the fight by holding him up with that knockout punch, a so-called alleged knockout punch. But as a boxer, and what I'm trying to say is, as a boxer, whether Mayweather is going to get a lot of money, he didn't get millions. It's still debatable what he got, and nobody's really saying what either one of them got. But again, it's debatable because there's no real article on exactly the amount. There's been speculation. The point is, as Mayweather, whether I'm making the money or not already, I want to knock out this sucker to prove my point. Yes, it doesn't go on his official record, but guess what? It goes on my moral record. It goes on that I didn't have a 180-pound younger kid by 20 years kick my ass. Now you turn it around and go to Logan Paul going, I just knocked out one of the best all-time boxers of all time. Whether I get an official record or not, it doesn't matter about the rules, because at the end of the day, it's about your pride and taking it away with you and speaking about it later. Mayweather doesn't need any more records because, as you said, he's no longer boxing. I really think it came down to personal pride. I really do. And I'm not trying to yell over you, and we're not arguing, we're discussing, but I really feel that I'm taking it from the pride standpoint of, I was Mayweather or Logan Paul, I want to knock you out. I don't need to give a show, because whether I last 1 round or 8 rounds, I'm getting my millions or hundreds of thousands of dollars. I want to prove a point that a 44-year-old man can take out a 180 pound 20-year-old, whatever. Does that make, do you kind of see my point? It's not right or wrong. I don't think I got my point across.
I understand what you're saying, Herb. I get it. Now, I just want to say I'm on a couple of different articles. I was on screenrant.com, and then it's also being reported from Sporting Free, reported that Floyd Mayweather was reported guaranteed $10 million for this bout with Logan Paul. But Floyd Mayweather, even like I keep saying, Floyd, I think it's still it's rumored, it's looking like he got guaranteed like $250,000, 10% of the pay-per-view earnings. So what I'm saying is this was a nothing fight for Floyd. Floyd got this as a cash grab and put on a show for everybody. That's what he did. He said it, like I said, he said it in his post-game press conference. He has nothing to prove right now. Floyd Mayweather fought all the good boxers. He's got an undefeated record. All he did was step in the ring with Logan Paul because he saw that Logan Paul is a polarizing figure. He sees all the money that the Paul brothers are bringing in, boxing freaking former NBA stars, MMA fighters. He sees all the money that they're bringing in, and he's like, I can capitalize on that. I'm going to hop in the ring with this dude. I'm going to dance around the ring with him a little bit, put on a show, walk out and get $10 million. If Floyd wanted to end that right away, Floyd could have ended it right away, because if you watch the like I said, you're right. It's all speculation. I don't know if he really knocked. I don't know that he knocked the lights out of him. But it looks sure as hell looks like they knocked him out clean cold, because he just goes totally limp. The dude just looks like lights are like there's nobody home up there. Eyes go out, done. But he holds him up. That's the way it looks in the video. Again, wasn't there? I can't say that. But to say that Floyd took this for boxing integrity is insane, because he doesn't care about that. He doesn't care about his legacy right now. He cares about getting money. That's all Floyd cares about, is making money. That's why the Pacquiao fight took forever to happen. The reason the Pacquiao fight took forever to happen is because money. Floyd just cares about dollars and cents. That's Floyd money. That's why they call him Floyd Money Mayweather.
I just feel I understand that, but he was already. I understand that. I get that, but I'm already getting 10 million. I'm going to knock you out and walk away to prove, because it is pride. Do you think boxers don't care? There's no way with a 15-0 record in his career that he does not give a shit. A 44-year-old.
He doesn't, because he knew he wasn't going to get knocked out by. He knew he wasn't going to get knocked out by Logan Paul. He knew he wasn't going to get knocked out by Logan Paul because he's the best boxer in the world.
Well, of course. But for him not to knock Logan Paul out is really hard for me to believe. Whether or not, you know what I'm saying with the video, I get it. I totally get what you're saying. But whether I'm guaranteed 10 million or not, whether or not it hits my record or not, I'm going to take this chump out. And there's a lot of ego behind boxers. There's a lot of pride. I just have such a hard time believing that he held him up for a show. Doesn't
that's
mean
all it was,
that he's going to get less money. I saw the video. I guess I look at it in a different way. I'm looking at it as the athlete part of it.
But
all boxing's a show. I mean, let's be honest.
If it was a sanctioned, but if it was a sanctioned event, like this was a real boxing bout, like a sanctioned boxing bout, Floyd's knocking him out in a round. Floyd's not letting that go anywhere. But it was an unsanctioned exhibition fight. Floyd went in there to put on a show.
I just don't see what would be the difference coming from his standpoint. I don't know.
Because it didn't matter. Like what happened in that ring did not matter to what happens to Floyd's record. Like Floyd nothing happens to him. Yeah, does it look bad if Logan Paul knocks him out?
But it matters to Logan Paul.
But it doesn't matter to Logan Paul because Logan Paul already won just stepping in the ring with him. Logan Paul already won by getting Floyd Mayweather to even just set foot in a boxing ring with him. That's how Logan Paul wins. Logan Paul's a YouTuber. Logan Paul, they said I was actually watching KFC Radio. KFC, he's a podcaster with Barstool Sports. Mm-hmm. He said that
I know who it is.
Logan Paul, Jake Paul, they're all YouTubers. Logan Paul would have won if he just got Floyd Mayweather to show up on his podcast. Logan Paul would have won because it's like, wow, look, I got one of the best boxers to ever step in a ring. That's huge. He got that dude to step in a boxing ring with him. That is massive. You know, like how many times can you say that a boxer Logan wouldn't train? I'm sorry, what are you saying?
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like, how many times do you get to say that a YouTuber or a podcaster steps in a ring with a greatest boxer to ever lace him up? You know, how often does that happen? It never happens.
You can't, and you can't. But you got to give Logan Paul a lot of credit, no matter how big of an ass he is. He's been training and he's been serious about it. That's not just winning and getting him in and getting his ass kicked. He's been doing this for a long time. It's not just about being a YouTuber. And yes, it is about a spectacle to a point, but you don't think he didn't care if he couldn't knock him out? Do you think he didn't care if he did knock him out? It may not mean something for Mayweather, but it means something to Logan Paul, whether it's a skeptical, a show or not, because you know damn well, if he really did knock out Mayweather, that would have been huge in the boxing industry, whether it was show or not. The difference is because Mayweather didn't knock out Logan Paul. Now it doesn't mean anything because he only did it for the money. You can't. You have to look at it from both sides here. If Logan Paul knocked out Mayweather, that would be huge.
It would be, but Logan Paul would have been knocking out a dude that's double his age, and it doesn't matter what happened. Again, what I'm saying is what happens in the ring for Logan Paul. It doesn't matter. Just the fact that Logan Paul got to step in the ring with him is all that matters. Like that's all that matters. Like that's great for him. It's amazing. Like, yeah, sure. Would it have been icing on the cake if he knocked out Floyd Mayweather? Sure, it'd been icing on the cake, but you don't need that because he's already won because he got in the ring with him. He already won everything. He won promotions. He won money. He won fame. He won all around. He like Logan Paul could not lose that situation. It didn't matter what happened. If he got knocked out by Floyd Mayweather, sure, I got knocked out by the greatest boxer in the whole world. If he knocked out Floyd Mayweather, sure, you knocked out a guy double your age. What? It's a win.
Sure, I don't think Logan Paul would consider that a win, no matter about money.
It's a win regardless.
Tom, you don't know how that.
He said it in the ring. He said it in the ring.
If I was Logan Paul. Yeah, he said he was very honored, but that doesn't mean if he didn't want to knock him out, if he got knocked out, he didn't. So it is a big win for him because he lasted 8 rounds with Mayweather. If he got knocked, do you think he would say it was a win? No, he would talk trash.
Yeah, because he got in the ring. He got in the ring with one of the best boxers in the whole world. Whoever did it, he got in the ring with one of the best boxers of all time. Okay. Nobody would blame Logan Paul if he got knocked out because he hasn't been boxing as long as Floyd has. You know, like that's like me.
Sorry.
That's like me playing baseball. That's like me playing baseball for 20 years. And then if I stepped in the box against Jacob deGrom and struck out on 3 pitches, me being upset. No,
Mhm.
Jacob DeGrom's one of the best pitchers to ever step foot on a baseball field. I struck out on 3 pitches because he's amazing. You know, like I'm honored to. I would even be honored to just step in the box against him.
I guess I just look at it differently because no matter how much money I got, and if I got knocked out by Mayweather, I would still consider it a loss, and I'd want a rematch. I mean, that's just me. Whether or not it's not even.
But he's making
granted,
he's making a shit ton of money.
And he also makes a shit ton of money too. The both of them are rich as shit already, so I really don't use money as a consideration at this point.
But
for
all they
certain
care
things.
about is
I
money.
get what
All they
you're
want to do
saying,
is
but
keep making money. That's the thing is when you're rich and you're making all that money, all you want to do is continually making it.
So you think that all he wants to do is make money? So training this hard to go in a boxing match to get his ass kicked is just about money? I disagree with you. I don't think. I think it's more than that. I think it's more than money.
Dude, if he really cared about boxing, he wouldn't have fought somebody double his age. If he cares about being a boxer, he'd actually step in the ring with a boxer closer to his stature, closer to his weight class, closer to his age.
First you give Mayweather a ton of credit, and now you turn around and say, well, he's an old man and he's not worth fighting. You got to pick your point here, Tom.
First you're saying my point is totally fine. Dude, my point is totally fine. All I'm trying to say is
you just went backwards. You just went backwards.
No, I didn't.
Just totally reneged on what you said 10 minutes ago.
I didn't.
Tom. You said Mayweather's one of the best boxers ever, and he probably should have knocked out Logan. But then you're saying, well, why Logan's not a real boxer because he took somebody 20 years older than him. Well, you just said he's one of the best boxers ever in history.
He is.
So
he absolutely.
You can't say he's an old man and not worth it, and then you can turn around saying he's the best boxer ever and he should have knocked him out.
What are you talking about? If Logan Paul wants to be an actual boxer, dude, he would actually box people. He would box people that haven't been retired for 6 years. Okay. Floyd Mayweather that hasn't boxed for 6 years. Floyd Mayweather looked at this as a money grab, as something he can make $10 million on and put on a show for people. Logan Paul looked at this as a way to boost his brand, saying, look, I'm a freaking YouTuber who just got in the ring with one of the best boxers to ever do it. It doesn't matter if he got knocked out or went the distance. It's a win for Logan Paul. Like, it doesn't matter what happens. A win is like, it's a win-win for him. He makes $250,000 and got to get in the ring with one of the best to ever do it. Who else can say that? Nobody. The last person to get in the ring with Floyd Mayweather was freaking Conor McGregor, an actual MMA fighter. The last boxer to get in the ring with Floyd Mayweather, I'm pretty sure, was Manny Pacquiao, an actual boxer. And then it was Logan. And then it was Logan Paul, a YouTuber. Like that was a show. It was a WWE bout. I was expecting Vince McMahon to come out and say, where was Stone Cold Steve Austin to start stunning people? Like, it was a joke. It wasn't a real boxing bout,
What the Rock is cooking.
This topic is inconsequential, and we're going to end the show. So that should be your Wednesday show. Is it Logan Paul or Mayweather consequential?
Yeah.
I get your point. I totally do. I like discussing this shit with you. I do agree with you to a point. I think and the thing is with you and I is everybody thinks we're yelling and screaming at each other. We both see each other's points, and I think they're both valid. I really do. There's no right or wrong answer, and both of them stuck up for each other, which I thought at the end of the day, Mayweather, I will say, is a very professional man. He said, I was shockingly surprised of how hard Logan Paul could hit. He's shocked that he stayed 8 rounds. Now, again, that video in question, you guys can go on Twitter, you can go on YouTube and find it. I don't see it as clear as day as Tom or Snacks does, but again, I'm not an authority on this. None of us are. I think the both of them are pretty professional. At the end of the day, there's now rumors that there may be a rematch. As far as it being a show, I don't know. I still feel that if I'm going in there, I want to prove myself. Yes, I'm making 10 million, but I want to walk away with some pride. Now it will shock me 110% if Mayweather honestly said, I really didn't give a shit if I knocked him out or not, which he has not said, and he probably won't say. But if he did say that, then I'm all on Tom's side 110%. I do agree with Tom on some of his points, but there's a pride and there's a status quo. Does he necessarily have to prove anything? Well, he's a 44-year-old man going against a 180-year-old. I just find it hard that, hey, I'm going to make 10 million. I don't care. I think he does care if he got knocked out. I think he does care if he got his ass beat. I mean, I don't know. I don't think we're ever going to know 100%. What Mayweather says on news is about a lot of PR and a lot of hype and what he does. And yes, he is about money. Every boxer in a major professional, any professional sports person is about the money. We just talked about Aaron Rodgers thinking maybe if they gave him more money, he'd do it. So I just try to take that out of the equation. But again, Tom is correct in that consideration as far as Mayweather is concerned. Logan, both of them don't need any money at this point. They really don't. I don't know if I consider it a win. Yes, it's a win that Mayweather said, yes, I will give you that. I don't know, Logan Paul might be happy that he lasted 8 rounds, but I'm sure damn well he wanted to knock him out and prove something. That's bragging rights, whether there's a record or not.
Totally. I agree. I agree with that. I agree that Logan Paul probably wanted to try and knock out Floyd Mayweather. I get that. But I'm also going to say that I don't think Floyd Mayweather would have taken the fight if he had a risk of being knocked out. Floyd Mayweather knew that he was going to make a whole bunch of money, get to dance around with a YouTuber and put on a show for everybody. It wasn't a pride thing.
Mayweather. Yes. I think all everybody in every sports player has professional sports player has a pride thing. I do agree with you that Mayweather didn't walked in here knowing he wasn't going to get knocked out. I'll go with you 110% with that. But I honestly feel Mayweather's kind of surprised that he couldn't knock him out. Now, again, that video is in question. I just don't know why he would put on a show. There's no benefit to him, whether 2 rounds or 10 or 8 rounds. I understand
because it wasn't a real fight.
I get what you're saying.
Because it wasn't a real fight. It wasn't sanctioned. It was an exhibition. It doesn't matter on their records whatsoever. It was a show. That's what it was.
Again, I don't care if it was on my record or not. I want to knock him out no matter what. That's how I feel. Whether it goes on my record or not, a show or not, I want to be the winner. And obviously there was no winner. But if I'm walking in with Mayweather getting 10 million, I'm going to make sure I knock you out because I'm going to prove it to myself. I don't give a shit on my record. I don't need a belt.
But he's got nothing to prove. I don't need any more
status, but I need it to me.
He's got no that. Mayweather's got nothing to
something themselves. Just because you have a lot of money doesn't mean you don't have anything to prove.
Look, like I said, last time, like I said, he said it in his post-game presser. Post-fight presser. He said you can't feed your kids on legacy. He doesn't care about his legacy going against Logan Paul. He cares about the fact that was going to net him $10 million. His pride, his legacy in boxing, he doesn't care about any of that because he's already cemented all of that. He's already cemented the fact that he's one of the best boxers to ever do it, That's just that's what he said. That is word for word what he said.
Well, if that's true, then if that's where he truly feels, then I have no respect for him at all because I wouldn't be getting in the ring just for $10 million. I would still prove it to myself. I don't care. He doesn't need the 10 million. Let's be honest. I mean, the money Mayweather has enough money for the rest of his life and all his kids. And as far as you can't leave legacy, you only leave money. That's not necessarily true. Talk to Gary.
But his legacy's already there. His legacy's already there.
Money always goes away.
But his legacy's there.
He has something. He's got an issue that he needs to prove that he can make more money. Obviously, he doesn't seem to care about that. You can't say I have legacy and then say you can't live off it. I live off money. That's an issue. But again, I will see what happens. I think he's going to probably end up fighting again. Tyson. This at the end. This is the final words for this topic. I think these exhibition bouts, real or not, you're still getting punched. I get what Tom's saying. I think it's going to help boxing down the road. I think this is consequential to the boxing community as far as boxing. I'm not saying because it's unsanctioned, it's not credible, but I think it's getting into people's minds again. And you and I, Tom, talked about this, and I think we agreed on this, that since MMA and UFC, what's boxing? Where are they? We don't even know who the belt holder is anymore. I mean, we know it's Tyson now, not Mike Tyson. But I think these things, whether cash cows, cash grabs, whatever you want to call them, at the end of the day, whether winner or loser, whether we agree or disagree, I think this is going to help legit boxing. I really feel this is going to bring official boxing back into the limelight and hopefully take over a little bit of MMA and UFC. And you joked about the WWE wrestling. It's more like, if we're going to do it, it's going to be Rocky versus Thunderlips when it was Hulk Hogan back in Rocky. That would be the way you would be calling it, where you got Rocky, the little guy, which is Mayweather. And then you got Thunderlips, which is Hulk Hogan, which would be Logan Paul. So yes, I can see that. And another good assumption on this, that was an exhibition bout. And if you watch the movie, Rocky took it as an exhibition bout. Thunderlips took it for real. So I think it's a great parallel, because maybe you are correct. And since our discussion that maybe Mayweather did just take this and like, I'm taking 10 grand. I'm going to dance and jab. I think I would have knocked him out if I was Mayweather, because I want to prove something to not to myself, but to the people out there. Cause he does care what people think about him to a point. He didn't take it serious. Logan Paul is Thunderlips, who took it quite serious and wanted to knock him out, and he couldn't. So I think maybe that will bring what I'm trying to say in the parallel. And then obviously it's a movie, but that's a good parallel comparison of what that was. Because in that movie, Thunderlips was kicking the crap out of Rocky, and he's like, "Hey man, this is like, whoa, we're just jabbing." That's when he took his gloves off and then kicked the crap out of Thunderlips, kind of thing. Yeah. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe this is what we're gonna do. But neither here nor there. I think it's gonna bring boxing back into the main spotlight.
I think so too. I totally agree. It's at least got people talking about boxing again. Like, I can't remember the last time this many people talked about boxing in like recent history.
Yeah. And before we go, who the hell paid $10 million to I want to know who pays $10 million for this shit. I want to know what advertisers or what endorsers who paid that about $10 million, and why such a low cost between him and Logan Paul. But neither here nor there.
It was the pay. That's why it took so long to get that's why it took so long to get the numbers, was because they had to see what the pay-per-view brought in. He got 50% of the pay-per-view shares.
Mm-hmm. Well, which was funny too, on the pay-per-view shares, the streaming went out. So there's a lot of people bitching when the streaming service went out. People were complaining they want their money back because I forgot how long it went out, but the streaming service broke for a little bit. So wow, I actually got a rant in for the first time in weeks. Tom's been ranting about baseball, and I finally got a rant in. We did not even.
It was fun. I need some water now. I need some water or some hot
Tom
tea.
And
now.
I are not arguing. You need some body armor. That's what you need.
I do need some body armor.
Are not arguing. We're not mad at each other. This is what we do. And I'll get you some. It's a discussion. Definitely not an argument by any means. We get heated.
No.
Now, segue. If you want to hear some more heated comment or talk, join him and Brim, because you think Tom gets loud on this show. Oh, there's no way in how Tom even gets loud at all on this show. You need to go listen to him on Unconsequential on Wednesdays, because he yells at Brim, and Brim is like 3 times his size, and he really tells Brim how it is. And it's a really fun show. And if you ever seen Tom heated, you need to watch that show.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
It's really fun.
It's definitely a fun one.
And on Mondays, and also on Thursdays, they do the audio version of Grindhouse Radio. Check them out, because Tom gets on a rant too. I've heard Tom call Brim out a few times, and I've even seen Brim back down. So Tom's no one to mess with. No matter how big
me and Brim argue.
There's nobody to mess with.
Me and Brim argue all the time. It's fun. It's all in good fun.
Oh my God, it's fun. And I know before we go, I want to introduce, so we're segueing in the Grindhouse and segueing into other podcasts. We have a brand new podcast coming next week. And it is coming from, I guess, can we say Grindhouse Network? Grindhouse Radio Network? Can we say that?
No, it's a different network. It's not it isn't officially a Grindhouse Radio Network show. Yeah, no, it's not on our network.
Okay. So,
but it is with one of our hosts.
Wow, even bigger. But even bigger, it's officially on our network. So that's even bigger. So the Little Dirty Secrets Club with Dana and Brim will be coming out next week. Dana is actually going to be our first of 2 guests next Wednesday. So we're going to get some dirty little secrets from Dana, and hopefully we can get Brim on Thursday. So we're going to go back to back with these 2. Now, when I heard about the show, I didn't know what to expect, because I didn't go through the website. I didn't know anything. Brim hit me up, and I listened to all 3 episodes, their first 3 episodes yesterday. And let me tell you something. I don't know if Tom's listening or not. This is not, your kids can't be around for this. Let's put it this way. When they say dirty little secrets, that people anonymously put out their dirty little secrets, and Brim and Day talk about those secrets. And let me tell you, today's was really, how can I say, spicy, I guess. So it's awesome topic, awesome concept, awesome shows, but it's make sure the kids aren't around, put your headphones on. And people are telling their real dirty little secrets, and some of them can be incriminating. Names are not given, but it's an awesome show. I got to tell you, it's an awesome show, awesome concept, and they will be joining us next week. And like I said, Dana is going to be here next Wednesday on Today with DW Live, and hopefully we'll be able to get her to give some dirty little secrets and see what how that all came about. Tom, thank you tonight for getting me all riled up and heated. I knew we were going to have a fun chat about Mayweather. Don't be sending us hate mail about it. It's all good, man. We're all good. Any final words as always?
No, I'm just going to stick with what I said last week. Let's go Islanders. They got a chance to close out the Bruins tomorrow night, so let's go. And we miss you, Snacks.
What happened to the Mets?
Oh, they're playing right now, actually. The Islanders are in the playoffs. The Islanders are in the playoffs. The Mets are still in the regular season. These are important wins the Islanders need.
Gotcha. All right, well, go Islanders. Let's go Mets. Snacks, we miss you.
Yes, sir.
Oh, he won't be here next week either. Son of a gun. He's going on his Marine. He's going on his Marine treat next week. Damn it. All right, we'll have to come up with something else. Everybody, I hope you had a great evening. Again, Tom and I are not mad at each other. Everybody relax. It's a healthy debate.
No.
And we'll see you all next one.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation. Found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.